Oh boy. Is this road worth going down? That's what we have to decide. So if we've got a house here. And here we've got a room. Up here we've got equally large or a wall. And here you've got another equally large room. Hello, Robert. Not building exactly. Planning ahead. Because what I started doing was I started reworking how rooms and buildings work, because it's just way restrictive. Right now, this if we're checking this tile right there, that tile knows which room it's part of because I've written down, or I've added like a room and a building to every tile. But this is not really viable because there are two rooms here. So which room is it part of? You just don't know. It doesn't know either. So whenever you have something like this, or even like this tile here in the middle, this could be any of these three rooms. So it's not a great solution. Because if I check this and I'm like, yeah, it's this part of this room that we're standing in, no, like it may not be. So what I was thinking of doing was making every room, every room be a room. So it's like every corner is a point or a vertex. And then if you want to know what room a tile is in, you'll have to check if the tile is within this. The border would be rooms, but the tricky part is that no matter what you do, it gets kind of weird, because the main thing we have to do is we have to hide the walls when we're above, right? But if I make every room be just this, so that it's just like a box, or a bunch of vertices, so it's, you know, if this tile is within this corner, that corner, that corner, and that corner, then it falls within this room. But then we'll also have those same tiles will fall within this as well. So this wall will be both that room and that room, which is mostly fine. Most games don't do it. Games do it. You walk indoor, you teleport to another room. That's how games do it. And other games like 3D games, they don't use tiles. They just use big objects. Like they have like a full wall. That's just an object. It's a wall. And then they just check like a array or something through it. And then you're just like, if we're behind the wall, then hide the entire wall. But that's not what we're doing, so. That's why the Baldur's Gate, they don't do anything like that. They just have everything up. And again there, you don't go inside buildings like that. All buildings there is just a teleport to another map. There are no buildings like that. There are no games that do that. I mean, there are, but it's like super rare. And when they do it, they just use a layer. So that you can walk into a building, for example, and then the front is just on like layer 2, and then they just hide layer 2. But here it's a little bit more difficult because we have multiple floors and stuff, and more realistic walls and heights. Hello, CC. How's it going? I don't know. Like, I just don't know if this is the way. Well, we're already... it's already done, more or less. That's the problem. But I have 178 errors there, so we better get to fixing those. Tiles should no longer have numbers in that sense. What is this? Yeah, no, that's structure metadata to selection. Yeah, we're not doing that anymore. Thought I was hungry, so I ate a cheese. I don't know how to pronounce that. Quesadilla. Oh, it hurts more? Well, that's not very good. My stomach also hurts, because I've been eating pills. That's gonna be bugged. Quesadilla. You may melt cheese on a soft taco shell and fold it. What's this soft taco shell? Is that a tortilla? Yeah, okay. So it's a cheese sandwich. Okay. I hate Spanish names for food because it's all just that, like, that's all of it is all like that. I started just saying the Swedish names for foods just because of the Spaniards, because they're like, yeah, I'm having a hubla hubla, and it just means like meatballs. Okay, okay, guy. Does it have to be in Spanish? Check wall slice. We'll get back to controller later. That the controllers are gonna be the ones that are super annoying. And most likely are like 90% of the errors. Okay, it's only controller left. Oh, yeah, tortillas are pretty good. Like, but I bought the tortilla press like 2 or 3 months before I stopped eating flour entirely. So I have a useless, expensive tortilla press that I never use because I don't eat stuff like that anymore. I might make a tortilla rarely, but not often. And honestly, it kind of sucked. I was hoping it was going to be a lot better, but it's not great. They become too thick. It's really hard to make tortillas a good size. It's really, really hard. Like getting them as thin as the ones you buy in the store. It's basically impossible. I don't know how to do it. It's really difficult. And I think basically, from what I've understood, if you use a rolling pin, you can't, like, it's impossible. You cannot get them as thin, because the more you work it, the more elastic it gets, and then it like pulls itself together. So you basically have to work it as little as possible, and then have a press and flatten it out. But the one I have is in cast iron, and it's like the gap on the hinge is like just like a millimeter or two too high. So when you press it together, it just kind of squeezes it out, and it's still like 1-2 millimeters, or maybe 2 millimeters thick, and it's just too much. Anyway, what we're doing now, and I'm honestly not sure exactly how to do it. We're not setting that anymore. We're gonna need so much annoying stuff here. How should I handle the level stencil here then? I don't know. This here, previously when the tiles had the tiles had an individual building or room attached to them, then I could just take that and set it in this texture, and then I could read that in the shader. But now, one tile can have multiple rooms associated with it. And how the hell do we use that? Am I even using that though in the shader? Like that's level stencil, and that is tile state. Tile state dot G. That's the room number, and I just added that. So we're actually not using the room number at all in the shader. So maybe it's not that big of an issue, because they'll only have one building attached to them, or buildings won't overlap each other in the same way rooms do. But I still don't see how this is gonna work. This here, this here, this is this room, right? And up here, this is the green room. That's green. So the problem is that the red room needs some way to know that it should be transparent when something is in here. And if it can't compare rooms, then what do I do? I could send all rooms. I could. Because one tile is going to have a maximum of 4. I think 4 rooms. Because it doesn't need to overlap with the next floor. That doesn't need to overlap. But every wall needs to overlap. And if that's the case, then like this is a room, right? And this is a room, and this is where it overlaps there in the middle. So that wall belongs to both rooms here. But then if we have a wall over here as well, and we have a room over here too, then this middle tile belongs to 4 rooms. And that is the main issue, because all it takes is that one tile behaves improperly, and then it's fucked. And what I could do technically is, because I can't send arrays to the I can't send arrays to the shader, but I could send a buffer with each tile's room in it, and it would be 4 variables, and I don't want to do that because it's terrible. So I want to figure out some way to get this wall here to be able to be transparent. And it needs something, because I think like the only way I can think of doing it is by kind of casting array on the CPU, and I really don't want to do that. Because what I would have to do, I've done that before. What I would have to do is I would have to cast array until I find a floor tile or like anything that isn't part of the room that it's in, so that we can know that there's something behind and that it should be transparent, right? Because otherwise it's really hard to make this understand that it's supposed to be transparent. It might be possible. I mean, we were doing that already. So we have two transparency types. We have one transparency type that doesn't become transparent if it falls within its own boundaries. So if it's like if it's the front of a building and it, after it casts to the ground, it still just finds itself, then it becomes opaque. But if it's behind itself, then it becomes transparent, because then, like, that's when you want to see characters that are behind the building, right? But we can also have a state that is transparent, but it just always casts transparent. And that way here you could do something that says that if the character is higher in the Y, and not the normalized Y, so that it's in the higher in the Y visually here, if it's standing here or above, then this is transparent if it can find floor. Because this here, this section, it won't find floor. At best it'll find a door here. So it won't find the floor, so it can't become transparent. Right? And then this here, it'll find a floor, so it can become transparent. Because if you do it by normalized Y, then this tile is going to actually be like this ground tile. So if you stand up here, here, or here, then it'll start becoming transparent up here. Absolute nightmare programming. I swear to God. So how do we do this? What does it need? What is it asking for? Here, this is check wall slice, and here it's asking for the tile's room ID. But in reality, what it wants is... it wants a check building. Tile position. We need to do list int we don't need a list of ints for that one. Buildings are never going to be a list of ints, so it just needs to be an int. There, so it checks point in poly, and if it finds something, then we break. and then we return that. So there we have an int that's going to be building number equals check tile buildings, and this is position, tile position. But then here, this becomes kind of heavy, but it doesn't really matter because this is not done on the fly or anything. So here we need we have an array of tiles here. And this needs to check its ID, and this is room 1, and that's gonna be this. And that's going to check against building number. Unfortunately, there's like 60 million there. And then this, we can pop that in here for now. And then we go up and we check. This is 5. Number 5 is this. There, we'll delete that. Cannot use local variable or local function. Check tile buildings. Oh yeah. No, it's all fucked up because this section is fucked up. And 3 is this. Seven is this. If there's one thing I've learned from doing art, it's that everything that is tedious and annoying and takes a lot of time to do, the trick to doing it quickly is to just do it. And now what's happening here? This is not good. This is a for loop. I equals 1 if bitwise and 1 shifted to the left by y plus it's shifted by if 1 I plus 2 is greater than 7, then 1 y I point 2. Oh shit. What have I done? What's happening is that I have to make an array here. I have to make an array of directions, otherwise this isn't gonna work. But I think that's fine. Because what I'm doing is I'm basically checking we started 1, that's up. So we check if I plus 2 is greater than 7, then I plus 2 is then we take I plus 2 minus 8, and that's just so that it loops around. And what I'm doing is I'm checking if the position that is up we've got 8 tiles around a middle tile. So if the tile above us has something in it. And we do that by checking a bit. We have 1 byte, and we check a bit that's assigned to be up, right? So we check if up is true or is 1. Then we check +2 to the right. And if that isn't true, then we check +2 to the left, or -2 to the left. So we check if both tiles, both up and right or up and left, has a tile in them. And if both of them have a tile, then we check the diagonal tile. And then if the tile has something, then we set that. Why am I doing it like that? I mean, I kind of get it, but do I really need that check? Can't I just check? I think I've over-designed this. Because all I need to do is check a tile and then check the tiles around, and that's it. If that tile belongs to this building and it's a wall, true, 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 false, true, true, false, true, false, you know, it doesn't matter, does it? But I remember I was trying to make it like check as little as possible, because it doesn't need to check certain things in certain scenarios. But I feel like this is completely meaningless. So there's in my opinion now no real reason to not just add more here. I think. Like, unless I'm overlooking something, this should be all we need to do now. We just need all the directions here. And 0, that's this position. Then we need one, 2. Don't know why 3 is there. Move it over there. Or five. Six. And then we're done. This needs to be just hidden. And then, because then it checks this, right? But I don't know if... I think all options have a variant, though. "47 options. Like that. And then... Oh, I don't want to do that. What do we have inside the level editor, for example? This is all obsolete. This is for like player indoors and all of that shit. So we can really just do that. Because that's for implementing the prefab editor, and it's just not there. 138 errors. Test tile controller. Now this is where things get fun. But here, this sets our current building. But we're not standing inside a current building, we're standing inside a check tile building. And that's just a tile position scenario. That. And then here we are adding the room to the player. Now that is a problem, because the room ID we have to go to current room ID. That needs to be a list. And then on start, we say, where's start? Oh no, it's there's no start here. We have update, render, deactivate, init, initialize GO. Here. on creation. Current room ID equals new list int. Then we go back to the controller. And now what we have to do is that for every single object that we enter, we have to say LOT object list I dot current room dot clear. Keep going, stupid bitch. So. If my current room is less than rooms.count, I wish you could like for loop inside of an if statement. So what are we doing here? Current room equals current room equals this, and then we need to do check tile room new vector 3 int This needs to be a for loop. For so then we loop through that, and this needs to be O. 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 We're already inside an I. So if O, current room O is less than rooms.count, then we just add this, we can see how many places are broken after that. It's gonna be like every time we try to use a tile ID to set anything, then it's fucked. But it seems good. Oh. I'm just waiting for my soup to go down so I can make more tea. But I'll probably make tea around like 8 or something. Oh, fuck. When I go for a break, I'll make some tea. We're trying to push 8 hours of Legends of Terrestria every day. It's gonna be hard on my voxel project. I'm not so sure we'll manage that one. And here we get some problems. We have to have a in control controller. We go down to the bottom, and here where it says this, what we need to do is we should just return temp list or return I here. And that means it doesn't need to break. And then down here we should return 255. Because then if it returns 255, that means we're not inside of any building. Very unfortunate to do hitbox checks for every single tile when you're rendering, though. Very unfortunate. For sure. What I was hoping to do was have a reference to all the tiles that are inside of a room, inside the room. That way you can just like loop through them and set their settings to whatever. Kind of. But I think that would still be really clunky, and they are structs, so unless I turn on unsafe code, you can't reference them. Because you can't use pointers without unsafe code, and I don't want to do that. Because I don't know enough about it. Ah, my arm hurts. Ouch. I hear everything hurts. Oh, I'm sad. Oh. Oh no. Keep working. Keep working. We were over here. Ah. I'm dying. See, this is getting reused a lot. So here we have to do int temp building number equals check building that. Are you proud of me for caching something for once? Indeed. Oh, that's done. Current room. See, this is an issue too. We can't tell the shader what we're using. So it won't know anything. And I'm not sure how we solve that. This is the vector 3. This is the vector 3. One vector 3. Oh. But what we can do here is we can make a little list here, list int debug list temp debug list equals check tile room new vector 3 int and then we don't do toString there, but we rather do a little for loop where we say for debug room number of text equals nothing, and then we do for temp debug list dot count, and we say debug room number. Well, I kind of want to say R number, like that. And then we can say debug room number dot text plus equals temp debug list I toString plus comma space. If I equals temp debug list dot count is 1, then we'll do this with a period instead. No, just don't do anything. Else we do that. Oh. And then here we have floor number. Let's not do floor number. That should be kind of whatever. I mean, it might be good for debugging later, but for now, fuck it. All right, we're down to 131 errors. Oh! I lifted some weights earlier too, so that's probably why I hurt everywhere. It's all in controller. But this is the crux of it. This is where we need to fix everything anyway. And I guess we just need to figure out how to do this now. And how to rebuild all of it again. And hopefully it works. And because that's the thing. This previous system I had, it worked until it came down to like a small detail. That made it really, really hard to keep going. So I don't know if this will be viable. So oh. Building number. We're checking if the building number is less than building count. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get current index. So we're gonna set, here we need int temp building number equals check tile buildings. Current index. And that's it. And then everywhere it says temp tile.building number, we change it to that. And then we see how far we've gone through that. Yeah, we could. Temp tile.floor number, that's not what we're looking for. And tile room ID. That's where we have to check the room IDs. That's where things are gonna get scuffed. The reason I'm doing this manually is because I kind of like having some oversight over what is getting changed, where, and why. And we're going through big things like this. This, we might check if, we might make a check for if it's a vertical wall or if it's a horizontal wall. And if it's a vertical wall, then we'll make checks for the tile to the right and to the left as well. And so we store those building number or those room numbers or building numbers or whatever we need as well. I kind of wonder if I should make a class or a struct for it, so that I can just make one call and we get both the room and the building into the same variable. I think that might be worth doing. Well, whatever. Overthinking, thinking ahead too far. And this is trash. We haven't even been in here and fixed it up. So far it's worked pretty well, regardless. Is player in room? Int current room. That's gonna have to be a list of ints. Current rooms. That's so weird. The player being able to be in 2 rooms at the same time, but whatever. I think the player needs to have a method. It needs to take a list of rooms, and then it needs to be able to say, hey, am I in any of these? Public. But what should he return? A list of booleans? That doesn't make any sense either, does it? List of integers is player in rooms. And it'll take a list of integers called rooms. And then we'll say if for, and that's gonna be let's start with the rooms.count, and then in there we say for you room current room ID is what it's called here, .count. Renaming that to current rooms. And then we'll check if rooms I equals current rooms dot u. Then list int, there's gonna be a lot of lists all of a sudden. Temp int equals new list integer. Then temp int dot add rooms I. Return temp int. Is that it? Think so. I don't know if this helps us. Did I solve anything with it? Keep going, keep going. Oh. Alright, maybe I'll take my break now. It's not gonna go very well otherwise. Oh shit, my feet. Oh my god, it's so bad. I'm just waiting for it to stop. It's getting better, but it's also getting worse. Oh. It's like it's changing, so it feels like it's starting to get better, but as it's getting better, it's also getting worse. I've been managing to sleep without the pain pills, but at the same time, it's like pulsating pain instead of just waking up in the middle of the night with just terrible, awful pain. Oh. I'm gonna put on a kettle and then I'm gonna put my feet in cold water. Everything sucks ass. Hello, Cash Jab, how's it going? Oh. Tea. Everything is terrible. Except this tea, it's acceptable. Oh. Okay, is this Java? No, this is not Java. This is C sharp. Isn't Java a C language? I saw someone say that the other day. I think they're all the same, more or less. In spirit, okay. No, it's C sharp. I mean, we're working in Unity, so. Oh. All right. Where are we? We are up here somewhere. So what we can do, I guess, for now is... Funny way to say you only know 2 languages. I also only know... No, I know 3 languages. I know C#, I know HLSL, and I know... what's it called? GSL? Game Studio language. Game Maker language. GML. That's what it's called, GML. Which I would never, under any circumstances, go back to. The tricky part is knowing what to name them here. Yeah, no. Temp building number up equals check tile buildings. Knowing 1 is enough? Well, if you... It depends. If you wanna work for a Unity studio, then knowing C++ isn't gonna help you that much. I mean, it'll... You'll probably be able to manage, but... You would not use Python if you're making classes? Oh, is that difficult there? Is Python just meant for quick procedural scripts, kind of? Like making a clock or something? That's what it seems like. I knew people who made games in Python, and it just seemed terrible. I don't know. Yeah, of course. I mean, even people who use C++ seem to agree that C++ is not always ideal. 2 years to learn C++ minimum. I do want to learn Rust though, or try it at least. But the problem is, learning Rust means you have to learn a graphics API. And just setting up Vulkan seemed like a nightmare. Like just getting everything to set up so you can render like 1 pixel. New vector 3 int. We need to check the tiles around this tile. Well, do we? I'm thinking maybe we just do that in here when we're about to need it. I don't think it's worth doing here. So we have our temp building number here. Now, list int temp room IDs equals check tile rooms current index. So temp tile dot floor number. Fun. Current floor number. Am I still setting that here? Somehow. Current building number. Current rooms. Floor number. Morning. All right. Why is it light blight morning on a Wednesday? At noon. Are you home from work? Have an appointment? Oh, okay. Where is it set? Current floor number. Is that not set anywhere? Not there. Not here. Oh yeah. The new Game Boy. I hate ROM packs. Yeah, me too. The Good SNES ROM pack has like 60 versions of every single ROM. Super annoying. Sometimes it's good to find the Japanese version though, because I don't wanna play the old school translations often. Yeah, yeah. Like they just have random fucking spoofs. Yeah, the Good SNES collection is god awful. It's terrible, to be honest. So we're checking what? We're checking floor. How do I check floor? And then we're checking floor by doing this. Let's do this instead. This will give us an int. SGB Super Game Boy Enhanced. It means, I assume, it's been bundled with Super Game Boy emulation, kind of, or something like that. If we are inside there, then we return I. No, not I. We return rooms I.floor. Floor height, floor number. Floor number, that's what it is. Else we return 255. Something like that. Temp tile dot floor number. Int temp floor number equals check floor current index Oh, here, I missed some stuff. Let's delete this crap. That's minus y. That's minus y. Right? Here's plus y. Minus y. Minus y. And here it gets spooky. What was it? Was it plus? It's plus y. And then here it's minus 1x. Here it's plus 1x. Lore. Camp building number. There, now it's the question of the floor. Or the room IDs. Oh. But I think what I want to do is just set whatever it is to true, basically. And but now we're back to the same issue we had before, but we have to do it again, one level deeper. Where here we're for looping through the content positions of this building. Can we do something else? Let's see. If temp tile.room ID. Isn't there a better way? I don't really like having to do the for loop here. I'm thinking maybe you can do something like temp ID, temp room ID start contains the current characters. It also has multiple rooms. So what's happening here? What am I doing? If the current tile is, or if the current object is above the current tile, and the current building is the same building that the tile is in, So we're inside the building and we're above the tile. If buildings, blah, blah, blah. And we're on the same floor, and this is the front wall. It's the front wall. And then here is where I'm checking the floor height. In focus. Can we do a U here? I don't know how to get it to actually trigger the change on all of these properly. Like, once you've gone past a certain stage, it doesn't want to automatically update them. So, now... What I think I want to do is... we go through temp room IDs, U, and what we'll also do is we'll do a check and see, and, well, if this room is the same as... you can't do that. No, we can do that. Now that we're in this, now that we've initiated this, we can do that. So we can do if buildings don't content positions don't current rooms dot contains this, that returns a boolean, right? Yes. So now we can check if the current room that we're checking is contained in building's current rooms. I said like anyone who understands what I'm saying. So then we only check this if this is the room that we're in. Because what I kind of want to do, or at least the idea behind how I want it to work, is that ideally only the room that we're in is affected. In theory, that's how I want it. But that won't work either. That won't work either. How the hell do we do this? Because here now, let's say we've got this, right? we've got these two rooms here. And now if we're standing inside the green room here, maybe it should be that way instead. No. We're standing in here. Standing in there. Then the idea is that this whole section of wall should become transparent, including this vertical stretch here. But what happens if we have another vertical stretch down here? What if it looks like this? Now we're just fucked in the ass. So now this wall might become invisible because I can check that this is part of this room, but this whole stretch here doesn't have that check. I would have to make like a room adjacency check or something, and that sounds super tedious. Because the rooms don't actually have positions to check against like that in a smart way. And so if I'm standing up here, how can I possibly make it so that this becomes transparent, but this doesn't? And this doesn't. Like I would have to make it read the ground. That's the only thing I can think of. This has to check the ground level here. Behind itself somehow. But that's what I don't want to do. I don't want to have to check that. It should just be transparent and then it goes in there. What I could maybe do. We could make a visual check. As long as it's contained within the floor, it might be okay. Because that way, what we can do is we can determine this whole wall to be a part of this room. instead, because they are visually part of that room instead of where they are logically, right? That could potentially work, because all I would have to do to check that is just not subtract the Z from the Y, and then we can just check that. I imagine. We would have to get rid of the Z, and or rather we have to set. I've confused myself with my own system. Here, this is Z like 9 or something, Z12. So if I want to know what this point is, then we have to do -12Z and -12Y to get it down here. But if I keep the Z, okay, so we don't subtract the Z. We keep the Z the way it is in the Y. We subtract the original Z, but we set the actual Z value to 0 or to the room base, or let's take a look. I am confusing the ever-living shit out of myself. Here we have current index is camera tile position Y plus Y minus Z and Z. Holy shit, I'm so confused. How does this even work? Well, shit. Okay, so we're at. Of course it's reversed. For fuck's sake, why is it reversed? Why is it reversed? You bitch! You fucking bitch! So we go over here and we go up to Y4, Z0. And then we go up to Z1. But then we do Y minus 1, so we stay there. So every Z is actually just towards the camera. So the logic on the C# side is that it's all like tilted, kind of. So that means we should just do a check where Z is the floor's base value. Instead. But how do I do that? I'd have to do it against the building, I guess. But that's not what we want. We want the room. But it's just the case that another room might be higher than another room. So it would have to be able to check the target room, which it cannot do. I wonder if we can do something like this. In buildings, what if we can get public what? What do we want to return? A boolean? Check if visually in. Is there a room for behind? That isn't behind, that's cool, like adjacent? Not adjacent. Check for it visually in. Playing as Pokemon Red, it's hard. Is it? I don't remember it being hard. You just grind. Just grind. They probably crippled it, I don't know. I haven't played Pokemon since Gold. And I only played Gold for like 3 seconds. Because the emulation didn't work. Because Gold was too hardcore for the GBA, for the normal Game Boy emulator. It wasn't GBA, it was Game Boy, Game Boy Color. This is so retarded. So what we need to do here is we need to do a vertex poly check. So we need to go and steal the point in poly code, put it in the building. Yeah, you gotta grind. Grind more, dude. I've always grinded outside. And by always, I mean not that often, because I didn't play Pokemon much. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do a for loop. And the for loop is going to be position.z minus building Pokemon Red, you got a grind from the very start. Yeah. And I don't like this. But then again, I do want... The building should have... There should be something called a floor, I guess. And this should have a public list of floors. 55 errors. We've cleared up a lot. I think we gotta do something like this. What is this? I don't think I use this at all. Bounds. That doesn't make any sense. Room test. Yeah, okay. Light didn't know. Yeah, Light didn't make name his. He didn't name his Bulbasaur Gary. Or your Squirtle. You always name the first. You always name the first Pokemon Gary. Nicknames are non-canonical. Pokemon is non-canonical. I think maybe I'll stop here tonight with this. We're just reaching a place where I have to like add and rework a bunch of things. I think having this like a floor thing on as well as building a room is probably a good idea. But I can't really check if a building or if a room is above something else. Like, how do you do that in a way that makes sense when you have polygonal vertices? It doesn't make sense. Because one room could wrap around an entire other room. You'd have to check just like one vertex stretch only. Which might be semi-useful. What was the approach I was doing just now? Buildings. Right, we were gonna check if... What happened? Did I destroy it? Oh yeah, I destroyed it. Why did I destroy it? Basically, we have to check, possibly check visually behind tiles to determine if... I really don't want to do this. To determine if tile falls within room set to hide. Question mark? Because it'll suck hard. It'll run like trash. The D-pad is shit? How? I don't understand how you make a bad D-pad. Like, you have to go really, really hard on making a bad D-pad. You have to make like a Saturn or a classic Xbox 360 or Xbox. I don't remember how the OG Xbox looked like, but the first Xbox 360 gamepads were dog shit. It's overly sensitive in the left-right direction. Alright. That's a shame. Alright. Yeah. The only D-pads I really like is the PS3. And I do like the Xbox One. The OG Xbox One D-pad is nice. But the new one, they made a new one and they ruined it again, and you can't buy those anymore. I think the Elite pad has the same as this one. And then they ruined it again, like I said. It's not ruined, it's fine. The new one is not fine. This is not fine. That is not fine. That is an atrocious design. What is that? No, on the normal one, not the Elite. This is the one. This one is usable, but they've already phased this one out. Like I said. Only rich people buy Elites. Like, who the fuck buys an Elite? I'm not even talking about an Elite. Only the Elites buy Elites. Only people who work in potash mines buy Elites. Where's the OG Xbox 360 pad? That one. Holy shit. What a disaster. Disgusting. It's basically an analog stick. Completely unusable. But I actually don't really like the PS4 D-pad because it's a lot stiffer than the PS3 one. Oh no, it's the PS3 that's kind of stiff. The PS2 is a lot better than the PS3. But they're basically the same otherwise. But yeah, should we stream voxel development as well? I could. That's my first PS5. I hate it. Well, luckily for you, there's no reason to buy one. We'll see. I'll feel on it. What do I even need to do there? Is it something that's annoying? I think it is. No, because you spent your $800 buying an Elite. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.